shatter the flesh and reinforce the bone. Embrace this carbon mesh, these powers all my own. These simple thoughts of mine are interchangeable.
Ghost boat. How do you feel, Mangle? The ghost boat.
We've seen worse.
This music reminds me of Circus Baby and the Hotel of Horrors. I just made that up.
I feel dizzy.
Yeah, it's because this thing is moving. Can you feel it moving?
Sort of.
I'm not making it any better by dancing on it.
Promise she won't sink it.
Make that one promise. We're not going to go down like the Titanic.
Boarding down.
I thought he was going to dress up as like a zombie or a vampire would be good. Could have maybe attempt the bit weird. That's
How many in your group?
5.
5. All 5 you here?
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
Otherwise we'll be
Titanic.
the ghosts of the ghost ship. Yeah, nothing. I don't know.
This is not a ship. This is a boat.
It's a
ferry.
ticket for these.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a cruise ship now.
Yeah.
Because I made it one.
Yeah, jump on when you want.
Go.
Presume there's nothing in here you want. Is there? No. Hiya there.
The bar is open. I think I would be fine at the bar. Missing reward.
I'll sit here and you push down. I'll probably get
Why am I sat here on my own? Missing. 5th boat gone. Goes missing on York's mysterious river. Owls. How do you pronounce the river name? Ooze. What strange fate has befallen this vessel? If you have any information, contact the York Dungeon. Reward note. Reward note. Sounds about right. I don't know the song. I want to though. Let's have a look, Mum. I can't see it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
It's creepy.
You should not yourself there, babe.
The ghost boat is moving really
Like how Nexus is yelping in deer language. It's like, what is going on?
Oh gosh, I felt stuttering. We're gonna drown. If you knew that. It's the day we die. Wow, we moved quite quick.
Wow. So much to see.
So much to see.
Just like the way we came.
It's actually really bad. The water's green. On my phone anyway. It looks green. Oh gosh. It's supposed to be scary because I love this. she? She's got a little Bentley, hasn't she? Yeah, Tom and Jerry. It does sound like that. Oh gosh, there's actresses going.
You have a very bright future, madam, don't you? Yes.
Okay, I knew there was going to be some nasty surprises. I knew it.
I've got one of those.
I knew there was going to be some
Oh gosh. They did.
Greetings, peasants! Welcome aboard this, the Ghost Cruise on the Ooze. My name is Tiberius Bebulus. I am a Roman Harris Spices. I can see you have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm a soothsayer, an oracle, a diviner, predictor of futures, and a teller of truth.
Oh yeah, don't forget about me. I'm Mother Shipton. Hello, my lovelies. I'm a prophetess to the stars. But I'm not a witch, so don't you be starting that now, eh?
I knew it. Oh, now that I know, because I knew that we will be traveling together for the next hour or longer with things being. May I welcome you aboard this, the most enjoyable of cruises through the historic haunted city of York tonight. My insights may make you laugh. It may even make you cry.
No, well, I can't promise that you'll see any ghosts tonight. Many spirits have been known to frequent this boat. All you have to do is visit the bar. You will see some pretty horrific sights you thought hitherto unimaginable. But that's enough about the crew.
In the meantime, please put your faith in your captain. Indeed, listen to him, that we may all be safe. Captain! Hello?
No, Captain?
Yeah. Knock if you can answer.
Hello, you filthy peasants. It's me, the Black Jester, the notorious rascal of the York Dungeon. I've mutinied, so now I'm in charge, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on how to survive this unnatural floating device, or boat, as you lot know it. We've managed to get enough life-saving equipment for all of you, just. These are the orange and white life rafts, and also the floaty ring things, which I think are going to make great hula hoops for the geese. When something terrible happens to us, should something terrible happen to us, like hitting a sunken wreck, and I don't mean your mother, we will need to evacuate the boat, and I'll be first. Those of you downstairs can use the sliding windows as emergency exits. Just don't forget to open them first. Our end, when it comes, could appear in many forms. For instance, fire. But we've been given firefighting equipment, and fortunately, we've all been trained to use it. If you have any questions, just ask those that are on watch. Now, you'll be pleased to know that I'm driving this vessel, and I've not been looking at the manual, so hold on to your loved ones. I'll leave you in the not-so-capable hands of Mother Shipton and Tiberius.
Yeah, well, about that was
Sorry,
expected, wasn't it?
Very unexpected.
Let me consult the Book of Destiny.
Destiny. This city of York is plagued by the paranormal. 500 different ghosts here, with over 800 sightings. And yet, I can tell, some of you're non-believers.
Like you, when I look in your eyes, I see doubt. It's the same look as the one John Scrivener, a man who used to own offices near to here in the earliest part of the 20th century. Scrivener had heard there was a house nearby that was haunted. It was not in residence, but rather had fallen into disrepair.
One night, when passing by, Scrivener bumped into the cleaning lady who worked there. Clearly in a state of distress, she claimed that a spirit was screaming in the attic room. Now intrigue took the better of Scrivener. He went to have a look. Took a candle, didn't he? Took a candle and he climbed the rickety stairs to the attic, where, just as the lady had said, a terrifying scream filled the room. It appeared to be coming from the cupboard in the corner. Anxiously, he edged across the room, and he mustered up all his courage to open the cupboard door, and then he found an old...
Water tank. The sound and evening water trying to push its way through the half-frozen pipe. Scrivener breathed a sigh of relief and laughed to himself at the stupidity of the old cleaning woman.
But before they could turn to leave, he heard another sound.
Loud footsteps coming up from the floor beneath where Scrivener was standing. And between each step was a strange jingling sound, almost like a loose piece of metal rattling around. As the sound got louder and reached the floor where Scrivener was standing, he thought he might catch sight of the silhouette. But when it did, the sound stopped, and Scrivener felt alone in the room once more.
For many years after, John Scrivener tried to rationalise the experience. Without success, of course. That is until the old house was finally destroyed.
When the workmen reached the basement, they found an old slab, and underneath the slab they found the remains of a man.
A very large man who had 2 spurs attached to his feet. One was broken and would have jingled when he walked. Is this the spectre that visited Scrivener that night?
We shall never know. But Scrivener was never so quick to dismiss the existence of ghosts again.
Okay there, Callum.
Now then, peer to the right, peasants, peer to the right. And through the trees you will see the Yorkshire Museum, surrounded by museum gardens. Anyway, many spooky sights have been seen on the river from the museum library's window. One of those spirits, she's on board tonight.
The quiet and unassuming George Thomas was a caretaker in the library of the museum. It was late one night and he saw a strange figure dressed in a long frock coat and draped trousers, thumbing through the shelves, muttering to himself, "Where is it?" It was closing time, so the man would have to leave, but as the caretaker approached the figure, it disappeared.
And many years after, the same spirit was sighted time and time again. That is until a local solicitor gathered a group of observers to go spend the night in the museum library. They were all hoping to catch a glimpse of this spooky figure.
But they were unsuccessful, for as we know, ghosts rarely appear on demand. As the vigil stood in silence, a book projected itself from the shelf and crashed onto the floor. The men were all so convinced what they had seen could not simply be part of the caretaker's imagination.
The book was entitled Antiquities and Curiosities of the Church. It had been presented by a man named Edward Wooler many years previously, who had died. Anyway, upon investigation, a photograph of Wooler had been discovered and shown to the caretaker. And he confirmed the identity of the photograph and the spectre matched exactly.
There must have been something about this book that made it so important to its original owner. He certainly seemed anxious as he flicked through the shelves, muttering to himself, "I must find it."
The book itself is now located in the City Library, with a large rectangular brown stain on the inside cover. It appears as though a photograph or document was once there. Probably this is what the spirit was searching for. But whatever it is now gone, and with its disappearance, the library rests once more.
Now, speaking of lost souls, let's not forget about the very woman who is the reason why Dawn Carty Manua, queen of the Celtic tribe.
And what a queen she is! Oh, Cartamandua. See, like many of the Celtic tribes who tried and failed to ward against the power of Rome, Cartamandua was wise enough to make friends with the Romans for the sake of her people.
For the sake of her people, lots of money, land, and most importantly, the protection from Rome.
Well, as you can tell, yes, some of the Queen's fellow grantees were not quite too thrilled with the new alliance with Rome.
Feelings of resentment further stirred amongst her tribe, especially when leader of the Celtic rebellion, Caractacus, came to her asking for help after his recent defeat against the Romans in Wales.
And did she offer old Caraticus shelter and protection? Did she? She flung him in chains and fed him to the Romans, where Caraticus met quite a sticky end. It did go down well with her husband, Venetus.
Mind you, she had just publicly left her husband Venetus for his armour-bearer Volocratus.
Oh, not that I blame her. I tell you, great stud muffin.
Well, yes. Anyway, feeling rejected and humiliated, Venutus fled and became leader of the Celtic rebellion. He launched an attack against Cartimandua's stronghold in Boracum.
But our queen had very powerful friends. Soon as she snapped her fingers, her Roman buddies came along with a knight leading Hispania to protect Cartimandua from the revengeful Celts.
This was until 69 AD. when the Celts attacked again, but this time Rome was only able to send auxiliary troops, which was not enough to hold off the Celtic rebellion.
They didn't get her hands on our queen, no. She fled to a different Roman stronghold in Chester.
Of course, when the Romans heard of the takeover, they sent more troops. They drove the Celtic rebellion out of Rome forever, out of York. We will now take a short break while you buy some drinks for yourselves and perhaps...
And me.
No, nothing enthusiastic.
Oh, okay.
Part 2.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
If you look over to our left, you may not be able to catch sight of the Minster in all its fine glory. A building, don't feel, there's nothing there. You can't see. A church has stood on this site since 627. The Minster is steeped in history. It's been home to many sights and sounds, some that may warm your heart, others that may chill your blood.
In the 1800s, it was reported by a man who we know only as his initials as BL, who was showing a party of guests around the Minster. Within this party was a young lady with a father and sister.
Mr. BL and this lady who had found themselves separated from the group while looking at the statue of the late Archbishop. They saw a man from the distance approaching them. He was dressed in full naval officer uniform. Mr. BL was about to remark to the lady how strange it was to see a man in such uniform in York when he noticed he'd gone white as a sheet.
As the figure came closer and closer, his features grew clearer, and the lady's distress grew. The figure leaned all the way up to the lady and whispered in her ear a sentence.
There is a future state.
Before disappearing into the depths of the Minster.
Just at that moment, the lady fainted, and Mr. BL, feeling hopeless, called for assistance from the rest of the group. He then attempted to pursue the man. He was unable to let him pass. He was unable to hunt him down, so he returned to the rest of the group, where he noticed the lady was starting to regain consciousness from help from her father and sister. Now, understandably, Mr. BL was very confused about all of this. When the lady regained consciousness fully, she took her aside from the group once more.
See, just like many of us, this lady had a strong interest in the supernatural. She spoke of a pact that she made with her brother. They both agreed that whoever would die first would come and haunt the other one in the afterlife. Well, shortly after the pact was made, her brother moved away to the Royal Navy, and the pact was completely forgotten about. Until now. Until he'd shown himself to her in the Minster.
Now, the lady was convinced that the ghost she had seen was her brother, though she had received no news of his death. Surely enough, though, a few days later, news of him did come through. He had died at sea. The very day, the very hour that his ghost appeared to them in the Minster.
Oh, stuff that is. In the 1900s, a young man named Harry Martindale, he was a local plumber to an apprentice. He was working at the Treasurer's house. It's just behind the Minster.
See, the house was built in the 1800s, but the ghosts that frequented are far older than that.
But no such thing as ghosties were on Harry's mind. No. He was thinking about taking his girlfriend to the dance that night. Anyway, he was packing away his tools, very, very pleased with the job he had done in fixing the boiler, All he were doing was waiting the caretaker to come and sign off the job before he could go home.
As the last wrench was packed away, Harry heard a distant sound. It was like a trumpet. But before he could register it properly, another blast sounded.
Much closer. Much louder!
Harry looked towards the wall where the sound had come from, and through it emerged a horse's head.
The horse walked through, as did its rider, and it glided along the cellar floor. Harry was terrified, paralysed with fear. His feet were glued to the ground and his mouth gaped open. He just watched as 15 Roman soldiers came out of the wall and followed the horse across the room.
Dejected and weary, they marched forward with a fixed gaze, oblivious to Harry. As they moved slowly and silently through the room, Harry's wits returned to him. When they did, he noticed two things.
One was the style of the clothes, and the other was they appeared to be chopped off at the knees. Very strange.
They moved forward, continued their paranormal parade. Harry then fled the scene, as you would do, of course. He was so traumatized by this ordeal that he vowed never to mention it to anyone.
So Harry continued with his life until about 20 years later, where he read of a very similar account in a local newspaper in the very same location. So Harry were compelled to break his silence.
At the same time, the archaeologists were excavating the ground beneath the treasurer's house. Here they found an old Roman road about 18 inches below the present day level.
Which would have explained that illusion of it being chopped off at the knees.
Almost. No. There's one thing that confused the experts still. That was Harry's description of the uniforms that they wore.
So he described them as being rough, homemade clothing, like this here, like that. They were wearing green kilted skirts and carrying round shields, which would have been unusual for a Roman army.
However, it was discovered a few years later that during the end of the Roman occupation, auxiliary troops stationed here in York would have worn very similar uniforms to that which Harry described.
Perhaps it was the ghost of the lost 9th Legion, or a Roman patrol defeated at the hands of the Picts. Whoever they are, they're still there, haunting those who go into the treasurer's house at night.
You know, I've got a story too. Long, long ago, a belief was held that by throwing 5 white stones into the ooze at a certain point, as the Minster clock struck the first hour of May Day morning, then the water would become like a mirror in which past, present and future would be represented according to the eye of the beholder. It's not clear exactly which point along the river it is that you need to stand, but if any of you are mad enough to find yourself 5 white stones and to stand by the river in earshot of the Minster at 1 o'clock on May Day morning, then I'm guessing that you'll probably see whatever you want to see anyway.
Let's carry on.
Sorry. Right, now for a real story, if you look over here, you may be able to catch sight of a pub called the Cock and Throttle. No, it's quite dark, isn't it? It's there! It's appeared by magic. Where is it? Is it there? You see, this was once home of a 17th century townhouse belonging to George Villiers II, Duke of Buckingham. Villiers was a wit, a raconteur, and a dedicated follower of King Charles II.
Now on the surface that does sound like a pretty nice life. But see, Villiers had outraged society by living a life of scandal and numerous affairs of the arts.
You may have heard of him when you were a child. Remember Georgie, Porgy,
Pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made the...
None other than the second Duke of Buckingham. He continued this absolute lifestyle for many years, until the end of his days, in fact.
See, as rules stated, any member of nobility must be buried at Westminster Abbey. So it was, his remains were carried to London. But it seems George's spirit still remains here in York. He is unable to leave the place where he entertained so many ladies and so many bottles of fine wine. Well, this is where it gets its name, you know, the Cock and...
Oh, perhaps. It seems the passing of time has not diminished Villiers' love of fine women and wine. For this distinct ghost with long curly hair, dressed in fine embroidered clothes, can often be seen at the bar of the pub. More often appears in the ladies' toilet.
See, on one occasion, a landlady was enjoying a shower. When the bathroom door swung open, she saw the unmistakable figure of the junk just watching her. Trying to comfort herself, of course, she heard the spirit disappeared into the attic. Terrified, she ran to grab the landlord. He took out a thorough search of the pub, but no sign of the peeping Tom or George was to be found.
Fortunately for Villiers, he is now beyond the reach of mortal crimes, especially for charges such as harassment. But there'll be a warning to all the women on board tonight. Should you find yourselves in need of a cock and bottles facilities, beware that the second Duke of Buckingham was not a being of the realm.
She pointed at me.
Come on, what? What are you
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by the sun of York, and all the clouds that cloud upon our house, the deep bosom of the ocean. Thank you. Thank you.
What on earth were that?
What were that? That was the opening lines from Richard III by William Shakespeare.
Who?
William Shakespeare, the most famous English playwright in English history.
Oh, he didn't, did he?
Did what?
He didn't write historically.
Oh, he did use some creative license, yes, but he was inspired by real-life historical figures.
Yeah, well, he made out Richard III to be a villain, all to please the Elizabethan court. See, Queen Elizabeth was the grand War of Roses.
And what is the point you're trying to make, Mother Shipton?
The point I'm trying to make, Tiberius Babylos, is that you're not going to offend the Queen of England by suggesting Richard III was a tragic hero.
Well, I suppose not, but there are those that think that Richard was a real-life villain. See, when his brother died, he should have become king, but the crown passed to Richard. Strangely enough. He was supposed to look after his brother's children, but the children strangely disappeared.
Oh, well, heirs to the throne disappear all the time.
Only when murder is present, all the heirs flee for their lives.
Oh, I don't really care how he came into power. All I'm trying to say is that Richard III did some good things for the country during his reign.
Like what?
Well, his first act as king was to decree that his judges dispense justice without fear or favour of the general public. So you can see he tried to make the place a fairer society.
Ironic, a king saying nobody's above the law when he himself unlawfully imprisoned the heirs to the throne in the Tower of London.
Oh, well, he had more to gain after the boy's death, didn't he? See, well, after everything was written after he died, it's no wonder his memory was tainted.
However, we do know that rumours about Richard's disfigurement were true. His body was discovered in a Leicester car park in 2012. So who's to say the other rumours about him are not true either?
Oh, don't get me started on that car park. Just because his remains were found there 600 years later. And then to add insult to injury, they buried him at Westminster Cathedral. Oh, bring him back to York. We love Rich, don't we?
It seems even in his death he remains a controversial figure. We will now take a short break and discuss amongst yourselves whether you think Richard was indeed a tyrant or a victim of scandal or
Victim of
some
scandal.
nonsense. Come along now.
I'm coming, Tiberius.
Come on, peasant.
Oh, no need to be alarmed, peasants. That's just the scream of our Elizabeth. She's a local lady who lives downstream of here in a little town called Bishopthorpe in the 1700s.
At the time, the Vale of York was centre of the wool trade. Elizabeth was married to a wealthy wool merchant. When he died, he left his entire estate to her.
See, Elizabeth has developed the habit of walking into York Town Market every single day for a bit of chitter-chatter.
Make a short walk into York every morning around 7 a.m. There she would while away the morning in pleasant conversation with many of the people that she knew.
Hello, how's it going?
Hello, are you all right?
Oh,
Is
we
John
can't-
still got that water?
Having finished the business, she would pack up and head back home down the river. See, it was a daily custom.
Somebody had started to notice this routine. Several weeks went by and Elizabeth had not been seen. Search parties were sent for her, but to no avail. There was no sign of Elizabeth or her belongings.
Until one day, a barge pulled up almost at this very point in the river. See, back then, these edges were all completely overgrown, but something caught the captain's eye. Upon investigation, the body of Elizabeth was discovered there, dumped by whoever left it.
She had been murdered, and her purse was stolen, but worse was yet to come.
Poor Elizabeth, she lay there in her unholy grave, with only the sky as a canopy between her and her maker. And worse was yet to come. Her body was completely decomposed, so much so that her head was decapitated from her body, but nowhere to be seen.
She could only be identified by the remnants of her clothes, which meant she could have a Christian burial. There was some discussion as to what may have happened to the head. Some suggested perhaps it was carried away by an animal, a wild dog or a fox, perhaps.
Although Elizabeth was given a decent burial by a local church, it seems the poor spirit did not rest.
Yeah? Is that for me? My agent. Elizabeth can often be seen wandering along the riverbank here, dressed in a shroud.
It appears as though she is searching for something. Perhaps she is looking for a murderer who was never discovered.
But it's more likely she's looking for her head. Then she'll be able to search for her murderer. Oh, poor Elizabeth.
Poor Elizabeth.
Those of you that can, look over into the water. Now, look deep down into the water.
Have a look.
For you may be able to see something which Elizabeth cannot. Anything at all, really. Can't see
Now then, peasants, I want you all to take a closer look at the riverbank. In the shadows, a spooky figure has been seen on horseback. He wears a tricorn hat and long black robes. His clothing appears to suggest the late 18th century. The figure does nothing except watches. A very unnerving sight, even for us the living.
Minds of those that have seen him. The figure bears an uncanny resemblance. The infamous highwayman Dick Turpin. While we cannot say conclusively that it is Turpin, there were many reports of him operating in the area which we are now approaching.
Born in 1705, Turpin spent most of his life in criminal activities, although he originally traded as a butcher. It was in his butcher's shop he sold his first stolen cattle and sheep.
He found that he was spending more time stealing cattle than he was chopping it up. So he quit his job and became a full-time criminal. While not busy rustling, he managed to add smuggling, horse stealing and housebreaking to his extensive list of crimes.
Many think of Turpin as a dashing highwayman who made a very brave ride from London to York on his loyal companion Black Bess in less than 24 hours. Not true though, no. This was a different highwayman called John Nevison.
He was also a terrible shot. In 1737, Turpin shot and killed his partner in crime, Thomas King, while attempting to rescue him. He managed to miss all of the guards and shot King square in the chest. He then fled the scene and took up residence hereabouts, changing his name to John Palmer, but change of name did not lead to a change of heart.
The Turpin's demise almost came in a comical fashion. See, after drinking heavily one night, he returned home and he shot the cockerel belonging to his landlord. He then threatened the same treatment on his landlord.
He was swiftly arrested. Then officers began to investigate how exactly John Palmer gained his money. It was then that stories of his frequent excursions into Lincolnshire began to arise, from which he always returned with lots of money and horses.
Since Turpin could provide no proof of employment, the case of the investigation switched to Lincolnshire, where police uncovered many cases against Turpin for horse stealing.
Even then, things might not have gone badly for Turpin. Had he not written a letter to his brother asking him to procure an evidence to acquit me of any wrongdoings.
Dear, but unfortunately for Turpin, his brother, not recognising the name John Palmer, refused to pay the 6p postage and returned the letter to the post office, where by a sheer coincidence, his former schoolmaster, Mr. Smith, recognised his handwriting.
Mr. Smith took the letter to his local magistrate. With his permission, he opened it. He then identified the handwriting as belonging to Turpin's, even though it was signed John Palmer. Smith was swiftly sent to York to give positive identification, which he did.
So it was Turpin was sentenced to death. On the 7th of April, 1739, Turpin was taken to the Knavesmire and sentenced to be hung to the neck by death. Well, how ironic, isn't it, that someone caught for stealing horses were hung at what is now York's racecourse?
Somewhat perversely, hangings were very popular days out at the time. People would flock from all over to see someone hang. Surely enough for Turpin, a great crowd turned out.
And the fun didn't end there either. Oh no. Afterwards, his body was taken to the Blue Boar Inn and put on display. The landlord even charged an entry fee to come and gawp at the body. A lovely way to spend your day, eh?
Oh, hey kids, what shall we do today? A game of cricket. Go and see that new play. I know, let's go and see the body in the pub. Now that will be fun. Oh, I do hope they do sandwiches.
Anyway, it seems it's such a fitting resting place for somebody of Turpin's reputation. See, there's a local courtyard right there called Agworm's Nest that's known for outbreaks of cholera and typhus, not to mention prostitution. So you can see why Turpin didn't want to leave, but leave it he must.
This is the captain speaking. No worries, I've regained control of this vessel. I thought we were doomed. Doomed! We've all got the touch of the doomed. But you best warn them that it doesn't end here. You know what I mean? Only I'll admit if they go wandering down some snickleway or lane and come face to face with.
Oh no.
Sounds like he's seen the bar guest.
Oh no.
Most often, it is seen within the city walls. Sometimes, you see it stalking along the riverside, creeping down narrow little alleyways. Nobody is quite sure what it is. Sometimes its form will change in front of you. Its favourite form is that of a giant black dog with glowing red eyes. As I've said, no one really knows what it is, but it has often been known as the dog from hell. It has even been sighted in the dungeons of the castle itself. The first such time was in 1644. A prisoner named William Holden saw something terrifying in his cell. Whatever the truth of the incident, he felt moved enough to write a few words about his unholy experience, which Mother Shipton will recite to you now.
What?
The poem, yes, we've discussed this. See here, look. You've literally been there. Well, come on. I need to concentrate.
In York, the 6th day of October, when I am sure the guards were sober, being far distant from the day when the soldiers get their pay, about midnight when they say, grisly ghosts leave to play, and dead man's souls with courage brave, skipped out each a several grave, and walked the rounds, when the bar guest comes tumbling out of its smoky nest, sometimes having a face, as promised the human race. Sometimes he has a beard, sometimes he has a hog, sometimes it's the likeness of a dog. I'm done.
Thank you. Let it be a warning to you, and you and all of you. Watch your step on your way home tonight. Do not be tempted to walk up any small snickle or alleyway.
Oh, well, peasants, it seems it's nearly time for us to disembark, and we're going to have to go our separate ways. But you better be warned. If you come down here again at night, I'm going to be watching you. Farewell, peasants!
Farewell!
Farewell! Thanks and journey safe! Farewell!
Bye! Should we go find the alleyway?
Yeah.
That'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Give you a freaking fist bump for those wolf howls.
They're not wolf's house, they're ghost moaning. That's the current music.
I don't know what done it.
I don't know what done that.
Gonna find like creepy old faggot there.
Hey guys, today guess what I got for £15? The Rockstar Foxy. Woo! There was Pig Patch, Rockstar Freddy, and the Green Nightmare Freddy. I really need a Freddy, and I need to stop collecting the Barneys and the Foxes. But I said that really American then. Oh yeah, and they were Helpy too. I also have something important in there for a Ballora cosplay, but which I'm not going to do for a while. But you know when you see it, you got to get it, so you don't have to get it later on in life when you probably got no money. What did you get, Mangle?
Got some manga.
She got manga. She got Dragon Maid manga.
I'm getting some more later.
Oh wow, it's so blurry. There we go. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I have no idea what
it's a shame it didn't make it to America though.
Yeah.
Good.
I also have a toffee apple.
Wait,
Oh!
when did you buy that?
I brought it when I went down to the shop earlier.
Oh, with the screamer mask person was.
No, when I went down to the shop earlier. It's Halloween one.
Oh,
I was going to eat it tonight, but I don't know whether to or not. Since it is Halloween, I was thinking of just eating it now.
Well, you should, but you really shouldn't on the train either, because you know it might melt or you might feel sick.
Oh, that's natural. But anyway, yeah. That's really all I could really want, to be fair. Like, there was hardly any FNAF stuff, and I was a bit disappointed at that. Like, I wanted Ballora or Golden Freddy or something.
And guys, go to York because they've got
It's the haunted city, the most haunted city in Britain.
And second of all, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you're gonna go mental.
Yeah, there's 4 Harry Potter shops on one street called the Shambles, and it's packed full of stuff. It's amazing. I was gonna get a Luna Lovegood one because I'm a Ravenclaw. That I was like, You're just the same as I am. But yeah, I've got a phone case, a Harry Potter phone case. That's real blurred. But yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Marauders map. Yeah, that. But yeah, guys, that's basically it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Until. Alright, I'll see you. See you later. Bye. Hey guys, I'm on the carousel. I picked a sugar sweet horse. What's her name? Her name is Venus. That's the name of my horse. I do love myself a little carousel. I just love rides, but carousels are something different. I'm the only one on there at the minute. Today is Halloween. So I'm on a ride. Victorian Carousel. Some trick-or-treaters. it start? God. Right, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. Victorian rides. Gotta love a bit of history.
The ride is about to start.
Here we go. Gotta love a bit of carousel. Victorian old rides. Something I love. Let's go. Hey. Better turn this off before I fall off. Bye guys. I'm on carousels. I used to pretend that I'm in the Mary Poppins film. Because in Mary Poppins, they're on the carousel. I always pretend. Hi. I always pretend I'm in like a race as well. Like, my horse is gonna win. Come on, Venus. Yeehaw! Yeah! My parents being dicks. It's alright. It's fun. A bit of fun for a change. My parents have gone missing. They've left me all alone. Where have they gone? Oh. Oh gosh, it's stopping a bit. No. Oh god, what's that? Bit of a drop. Look at my new coat. It's a fluffy. Oh jeez. Hey guys. I have I don't know what this is. I have I do know what it is. I've just forgotten what it is. Mango, what are these called again? It's not an apple. Yep. It doesn't even say. Yeah. It is an apple. Normally, they're like, oh, what do you call them? Sticky toffee apple or something. This one's different. There's just sprinkles everywhere. This is my treat. I have a Kit Kat in my pocket too. This better be a good apple though, just saying. Mango.
Yeah?
Have you got anything to say?
Nope.
Alright then. Good talk.
Just more manga.
More manga. Give me the manga.
Yes.
Me, it's just like, I want to go to bed. Oh, we're bored. And it's boring.
Tower to get the.
Okay, so
They have to.
we're in a train museum in York. It's kind of weird. Oh. Most of them are models, but some of them are real. A couple of years ago, it's been trained. A couple of years ago we had Hogwarts. What's the train called? From Harry Potter.
I don't know, they'll be Harry Potter.
Forgot what it's
Not really.
called.
Not here.
I know, because they're doing another film.
Doing another film, aren't they? It's not
Yeah.
really.
Hogwarts Express, that's what it's called.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Ah. That's from the channel. That's probably a real version, to be fair.
I know it's definitely not this.
Oh, you can actually go in it.
I wouldn't.
Well, you can't, but like, you can look in it. That horse is like the biggest horse ever.
Just fed it a sugar lump.
There's like tripping over train tracks here. Because the train tracks used to be here.
This doesn't look
So they took them down and made it into them. Whoa, look at all them up there. I'm not doing that again. Ambulance trains, didn't know that existed.
Yeah, they like, you walk, you take them like on rails down to the front line, you put English soldiers up, take them in, use it as an operating theatre.
Oh, right. Ooh,
There's a ghosty man.
ghosty man. This.
Good fucking wasteland. Fighting over that shitty.
Okay, beds are like too close. Does it open up?
They won't just open that to the book.
This is too tight for me in my suitcase.
There's operating theatre, look.
I want to see.
Well, they put
Well,
all-
you can't see because
well, they put all tools and everything, and all drugs is on that side.
And what's this
Which way
place?
are we going?
That's the Callum room.
The Callum room. Moving out. We've all gone different directions. Let's just go back down. Oh, hi, Mum.
We could have just gone out that way.
Yeah. Oh, this is annoying. Railways. Where the railway used to be. Check it. Harry Potter train used to be here.
Yeah.
On the turntable. Yellow. Yeah. What's in that then?
Oh, it's copper knob. Yeah, the Vikings. Oh, Thomas here. Do you want it?
I can't even see it. Oh, no.
Do you want it?
No, I'm fine, thanks. You can press buttons. It's my favourite thing. To press a button. They don't work. Disappointed. Thanks. What are you watching, Mum?
Timescales to meet, reports to produce, and signaling fault reports on different types
Trains
of
were so much better then. I think, anyway. They're more fancy.
Throughout the whole of the
They probably gave you cancer then. Have a good trip. That's why they were so fancy back then.
Metal.
1960s. Yeah. Press the button. Railways. Where's the rest of the alphabet?
Disappeared. And the day was put out. Set up